Hey y'all. All right, guys, it's your legal bestie, attorney Simone, and today is Legal Hot Topics. I was so excited to do this, guys, because we've been doing ASAP Rocky trial content. So I've missed you guys, and I missed being able to talk about things other than the ASAP Rocky trial. So hold on one second. Let me make sure I put on my do not disturb. There we go. I will not be disturbed. And let's get into it. So we got a few things on the docket today. All right. Oh, let me just actually edit this so we know. We've got Delta Airlines crash. Child, they are offering people $30K if they want to settle. We're going to talk about that. We've got Jasmine from 90 Day Fiance is pregnant and not by her husband. 90 Day Fiance as well. We've got what's the show? We've got WAGS, the TV show WAGS. What did y'all think of that? There were just some legal issues that I saw there, and I was like, this is interesting. And then we've got some commentary from an ASAP Rocky juror that I thought was interesting. You know what? Maybe we'll just get the ASAP content right on out of the way. As you are joining, so this isn't necessarily in the direct order. As you're joining, let us know where you're joining from. Thank you guys so much. Oh, yes, there is. Black Gold says there is a lawsuit against Jay-Z as a board member of Block. Yes, that one is corporate. It's not criminal. I have not had a chance to look over it yet. But also before we get into it, I wanted to I'll let you guys know. Did any of you guys see? I tried to set a members only story time yesterday, but then when I went back to my YouTube content, I'm not seeing it there. Now I did record it and I want to post it for you guys. So I don't know if I see there are some members in the chat. Brown Mama, did you get a chance to see the members only live story time? If not, that's fine. It will be live today. I'm going to upload it for everyone else today. There we go. There we go. And here we are. Okay. And don't forget, guys, you can always go to my website, which is SimoneRedwine.com. You can get a copy of my book, Background Checks 101. When you pay through PayPal, the next page, if you give it a moment, the next page is literally going to be a download of the book. But if you had any issue, if for whatever reason you paid and that didn't populate, email me at the email address that you get from PayPal, and I will absolutely make sure that you have your linked copy. It's $19.99. In addition, if you need assistance with a legal matter anywhere in the nation, you can click book or hire me. A 30-minute consultation starts at just $149. You can go down here and it'll let you literally hop right onto my calendar here. And I'd love to assist with those. It just makes me all warm and fuzzy inside when I get to assist with those. Now let's head over. Let's start here. We're going to go ahead and start with the ASAP Rocky content. So with ASAP Rocky, we all know he was found not guilty. The biggest issues there was two issues that the DA had to prove in order to win. And what we have here are commentary from a juror that I found really interesting. This is right after the trial. Now, the two things they had to prove is ASAP Rocky's defense is that, this isn't a real pow pow. It is a fake one. It's a prop one that he got off of a music video set of one of Rihanna's sets. Yeah. And secondly, they had to disprove that it was self-defense. So he got the benefit of the doubt that it was self-defense under the facts because of California law. And it was their job to disprove both of those. Well, honey, here is commentary direct from that juror on how they came about their decision. Shots out to my girl, Neek at Night. I really hate how they cut out Neek from this video, but they did credit her in the grade, but they cut her out anyway.
So if you could tell us, what was the atmosphere inside the jury room?
You know what? Everybody was really focused on delivering justice. I think that we really took our time. We discussed all the issues, all the questions that we had. We clarified those. We really kind of looked over some pieces of the evidence that people wanted to see a little bit more closely. And I think that we did the best we could with the instructions that we had and with the evidence that we had. The feeling was that there was a gun, that unfortunately they didn't have enough evidence to convict on the charges that were handed down to us.
Okay, so when you heard the idea of the prop gun, just you personally, what'd you think about that?
I didn't really believe it. I didn't think that either, that they had really convincing evidence that it was a prop gun. It was kind of a little mysterious the way it disappeared. And they couldn't produce it, as evidence. So some of the testimony did not sound accurate or truthful. But, we just try to stick to what was presented and stick to the instructions that we were given, and that's how we reached our verdict.
What did you think about the testimony of Relly?
Relly, I believe that he felt his life was in danger. I do. I feel for all of them, all the people involved with this. I feel like this could have been avoided. I hope that in the future, Mr. Mayers really thinks his actions, about his actions before, he is upset with somebody. He does have a lot to lose, and he's lucky at this point that, we didn't have enough evidence to, hand down a conviction.
All right. Here we are.
What up, y'all? It's your guy Dawson from Dawson Speak
I'll be watching
TV and
Dawson.
D&D.
I'll be watching Dawson. Hold on. We gonna switch back though. Hold on. All right. So basically that was commentary from one of the jurors in the ASAP Rocky trial. And y'all, this is hookah. The gist of what the juror was saying, let me pull this down. The gist of what the juror was saying is they thought it was a real gun, but they didn't believe Relly. It was just too hard to believe Relly. There's a longer clip, and in the longer clip, they actually said they thought that Lewin, the prosecutor, did a bang-up job. It was just difficult with the facts that were given. And I do think that they made the right decision based on the facts. Specifically, when your key star witness lacks credibility, it's very difficult to send someone away for 8 years, 24 years, any years, even a day, based on someone that you feel like says the truth sometimes and lies other times. So I also think when you have the victim, when a victim is unsympathetic, meaning he don't seem like a good guy. He does not seem, it seems like, yeah, maybe they did do this, but he seems like he's gotten away with a lot of crimes in the past. I have heard jurors say that. I have heard jurors say, well, this defendant, and it's usually regarding a defendant, they'll say, well, this defendant may not have done this, but I feel like he's done other stuff. Ma'am, what? This is not what you're supposed to do. But yes, like the video, guys, as you're coming in. But I thought it was really interesting that the juror said, we thought it was a real gun, but there are other credibility issues there. And also because there were two issues. Is the gun real? They have to prove, the state has to prove that it's real. They may have felt that there was enough reasonable doubt on the realness of the gun or not. And then secondly, they had to disprove that it was self-defense. Well, when you have on footage, Relly knocking the snot out of the other one, Ills, okay, and punching him 3 times, well, arguably it could be self-defense. And then I think one of the key factors, now she did not specifically say this, so I'm not putting words in her mouth, but one of the key factors that, one of the key factors as well is that after the alleged shooting, Relly starts chasing him down the street. Yes, one of the other things that she stated in the longer version of the clip is that when they first took a vote, it was 10-12. Towards acquittal, 10-12. So there's only 2 people who thought, well, he might be guilty. And they were able to talk those 2 down. They spent the rest of the time trying to convince those 2 people. Let me tell you, having been on a jury, if you've never been on a criminal jury, do it. It will give you I had the blessing of being on a criminal jury for manslaughter. Yeah, manslaughter. Literally, as I was applying to law school, I had my LSAT prep books in my backpack every day. And so I did that. I do feel like I convicted an innocent man once I learned about the evidence that was not allowed into court. But that'll make a story time for another day. All right. Yes, Neek did a full interview with the juror. Oh, she said it was over an hour long. Well, I just know that the clip The longer clip there that I was looking for, I don't see it. So I do believe what one of the jurors, what one of you guys in the jury have said. I call this all subscribers jurors. I believe that she probably did sell it to TMZ, because that may be why it was like a 4-minute clip that I had initially seen. That might be why it's not currently available. I could have missed it, but I don't believe that it is currently available. Someone else has asked, this is a great question. Miss Benny, can I do a show on what federal employees can do to salvage their careers against the illegal mass firings about Dodge? You know what? I think I would love to. Here's what I'm going to do. I want to get with one of my employment law attorney friends, see if they'll come on. Maybe we can do some calling questions. But here's my initial thoughts, because I actually did want to add that to the docket. Hold on, let me update. Excuse me. Let me update and say that federal employees. Here's the big issue with the federal employees that many people have not necessarily realized, and I think it might be why some people are unsympathetic, is because many people are unclear on the law. I'm gonna open up a clip. Actually, I saved this today. Turn this. Let me open this. I saved this today. We'll look at this one. And my favorite one was this. It was a park ranger. Let me see if I see the park ranger guy. I've been up way too late looking at all these. Here we go. So let me put this one up. I'll show this clip to you guys. All right, a disabled military veteran with an IT technician with FEMA said he was blindsided this week when the Trump administration, whom he voted for, informed him of his termination. Now, of course, we don't really care about these people who, voted for Trump. We're like, haha, that's what you get. But I'm using this as an example for the others. So the man who's from North Virginia was fired Monday as part of the guts. Now, here's what the agency said. This is the part I don't feel sorry for him. He's a stupid person. It says, but I want you to pay attention to this wording. The agency finds, based on your performance, you have not demonstrated that your further employment at the agency would be in the public interest. For this reason, the agency informs you it's removing you from your position until the probationary period has been completed. A probationer has, quote, the burden to demonstrate why it's in the public interest for the government to finalize an appointment to civil service for this particular individual. Now, the guy says, in his performance reviews, they were all in the range of 4s out of 5, meaning he was exceeding expectations. Additionally, he was described by a supervisor as, quote, a leader, demonstrated professionalism, and so forth. So here's the kicker. Number one, I would say if you are a government employee, get a copy. You better get a copy right this minute of all of your past reviews, any praise. Go into your email. I want you to search your email for the word praise. Forward every single email that you had that has any form of praise, good job, good work, any of that. Email it to yourself, because once you're done, they're not going to let you access the email system. And here's why you want to keep it. Under the law, the only way they can fire someone like this is if it's performance-based. But it can't be performance-based if you're firing every single probationary employee, which I think they said was like over 15,000 throughout all the systems, or maybe it was 7,000. I think it was 7,000 across the systems. You can't do that. See, if you want to fire for a non-performance reason, there are checks and balances. There's certain things that have to be done, which they're not doing. So in other words, they are lying, saying it was performance-based when it wasn't. So they can get rid of. There's one guy. He is the only park ranger, an EMT for a particular park. Meaning from now that this guy has been laid off, fired, laid off, whatever word you want to use, it doesn't matter. It's still wrong. There's nobody that's going to save you in that park. If you go to respiratory distress, if you're hiking and you have a serious injury, you're screwed because of this stupid. Where did my comments go? Oh, here we go. You are screwed. Let me get the comments. So the bottom line is this. They're lying to everyone. They're saying it's performance-based. The other reason this is really critical and a problem is because when you try to get your next job, if you're the person that was your former boss in this role and they ask, like, is there anything you want to share? If they say, oh, yeah, we fired him performance-based, it's going to look like you weren't doing your job when you were doing a good job, had been doing a job. The only difference is the president. That's it. All right. Da, 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 da. Yes. Hey, Nika Knight is in the chat. Yes, Neek. Oh, let me add this. Can y'all show it? Good. Yes, she did an amazing job with that coverage. Go to her page for. Is it Neek? Can you let us know? Is it true that you have like a longer version of your interview with that juror that you're going to be showing? I sure hope so. Neek at Night is her page. They're asking employees to redo their. They're now asking employees to redo their. Don't y'all dare. So we are talking about the federal employees that have been unlawfully fired. To be clear, the reason it's unlawful is because if you are firing them for non-performance based reasons, they're in a union. You have to go through all these union procedures. They are bypassing the union. And let me give you a little example of why this is not okay. Think of it. If this happened to cops would be jamming up the court system because the police union is the strongest union in America. And if someone came through and just told all these police, oh, we're firing you for performance reasons, when they're really not, our court systems would be jam-packed. There is a union for these federal employees. So my first step to them would be speak to your union. But it's a hot mess. Yes. Okay, but yeah. Oh, you're so sweet. Neek, you're so sweet. Okay. You believe it's against no, it's not against the law to disclose it to you, the employee. In fact, most employees want to know, oh, you're firing me? Why? What did I do? But to release it to the public is different. But here, I think what happened is this person shared their own email with this news entity. And so the news entity is telling us, yes, they have a union. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Trump is above the law. He posted this week a tweet within the last week. He posted a tweet that says basically when a president breaks the law, it's not breaking the law if it's for the greater good or some bull crap like that, where people are like, oh, Lord, here we go with this bull honky. Yeah, but he never follows the rules. All right, next up on the docket. Why can't I think my system is being crazy. Hit that like. Next up on the docket, y'all. Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines is offering $30,000 to each passenger that was on the crash landed Toronto flight. Each passenger is eligible for, I have to go edit this stuff. All right. Bye, Neek. We'll see you later. Take care. Yeah. So for each passenger that was in this crash, they're being offered $20,000. Now, remember, I'm your legal bestie, Attorney Simone, and I'm about to break this down for you. So if you came to me and said, you know what? And actually, if this happened to you, you're welcome to go to my page, SimoneRedwine.com, schedule a consult. I will happily look over whatever documentation that they've given you. But this is what I'd say as your legal bestie. There's a few things that I think any passenger should consider before deciding whether or not to take the $30,000 settlement from Delta Airlines. Number one, if you take this money, you cannot sue. I've seen people in the comments say, oh, I'm going to take the money and I'm going to sue. No. If you get this, they're going to make you sign something that says you're not suing for anything more, which is why we have to make sure that whatever injuries that you've suffered are worth $30,000 or less, right? The other thing keep in mind is because this happened in Canada, it's likely that Canadian law will prevail and or for to the extent that you're an American and you bought your ticket in America, on Delta Airlines, there are special aviation federal laws that could apply. In addition, I go to Gossip in the City all the time. Gossip in the City was like, ooh, you $30,000 and you're going to have to pay your taxes from this. No. The only time that you have to pay taxes on money related to a lawsuit is if specifically it goes all the way to a jury, right? And the jury says, this is your lost income money, because of course you have to pay taxes on your income. But if you get a global settlement, that's what we call it. When you get $1 amount that's supposed to comprise pain and suffering, future medical, past, whatever, and possibly any income loss, right? All of that, if it's all combined is just a settlement, you don't pay taxes on it. All right. The first question though is, were you physically injured? Everybody wasn't, but some people were. I think they said 17 people were taken to the hospital. So let's say that whole plane has like 240 people. If you were not injured, you might want to take it. Okay. Now it can take a few days for your body to feel the injuries you've gone through. But if you're not physically injured, I'd probably say take that money. Well, because Now, mind you, some people may argue, oh, but I have PTSD. I bet you do. I bet anytime in the future that you fly, you're going to have that challenge. Here's the challenge with trying to recover and prove money in court for something like PTSD. Number one, you got to go to therapy for months and months and months. And here's the nasty thing that corporations do when you claim things like PTSD or emotional distress for their conduct. What they then do is they start digging into your personal life, into your business. It actually opens up all of your therapy records, not just from the date of the accident going forward. They may say, we want to see your therapy records 2-3 years back. If you were going through a divorce, if maybe, your boyfriend cheated on you, maybe you were attacked by someone, maybe you suffered some trauma from some criminal act that was done on you in the prior years. Well, guess what? Delta Airlines is going to say, if you're arguing, I want more than the 30 because of PTSD and trauma, they're going to say, oh, you already had trauma. You've been dealing with trauma. You were actively going to therapy, or you were assaulted years before and you didn't go to therapy for that. So how do we know that the PTSD was caused by this and not that? And then I, your lawyer, got to go to court and argue with them over that. But for most people who have actually experienced trauma like that, what they don't like is when I send them that notice that says, hey, they're subpoenaing your health records, your mental health records, and they are entitled to it if you want to pursue this claim. I can't tell you how many people, when it's car accidents, when it's things like that, they say, you know what, forget it. I don't even want to do that because I don't want to let these people in my business. And I totally understand. Now, separately, if you are physically injured, you want to go ahead and get an evaluation from a doctor, and not just urgent care. You can go to urgent care, but then you need to go to a doctor that specializes in accidents and injuries. Here's why. Do not just go to your PCP, especially if you're American. Here's why. Because your PCP, generally, they don't want to see you if it's a result of an accident, because when they put in the billing, like this came from an accident, most American healthcare providers will deny paying your medical bill. They say, oh, go get it from the person that caused the accident. They're going to say, go get it from Delta or whatever. So for that reason, you want to go to somebody that specializes in accidents, injuries, because they're going to write up your medical records differently. And the medical records are how you get paid. The other thing about that is with Delta, when they give you that 30, you want to watch out and say, are you going to pay my medical bills in addition to the 30? Or is this 30 have to encompass everything? More than likely, it's got to cover it all. And so if your physical injuries are more than that, you got to give yourself time, because more things. So for example, that thing flipped upside down. If your back is injured, sometimes you'll need injections. Well, maybe the injections don't work. After the injections don't work, there may be a surgical recommendation. I have a client right now who has a $1 million case against Lyft. They were offering him $7,000 and he was going to take it. The only reason he hired me is because they took too long to cut him the $7,000 check. I have gotten him over $400,000 worth of extremely necessary medical care because he ended up with a dissected he needed a discectomy, which is basically a portion of his spine in the neck area was disconnected. He also had multiple herniated discs. He did not know about that and was ready to take that money real quick, fast, in a hurry. Now he's got that medical treatment. He's got his future medical diagnosis, and we're going to be able to get him paid for all the trauma that he's gone through and what he's dealing with in the future. So the main thing is when you look at whether or not to take this 30, if you've got minor injuries, I'd say go ahead and take it. The other reason is because in America, if we handle most injury attorneys, if they handle your case, what's called pre-litigation, meaning they get you a settlement without having to file a lawsuit, then they're entitled, then they get 33 1/3 of whatever the settlement is. So let's do that math. Hold on. Let me do that math. 33 1/3. So $30,000 times so that would mean basically if they would be taking a third of your amount, so they'd be taking like $9,000 out of your injury settlement, right? So you add that back on, basically if your injuries are $40,000 or more, then you may want to get an attorney. because that attorney can help you get more. Also think if we have to file suit though, that's 40% that we take. That's why I think about it. If your injuries are under that amount, under the 30K, you want to go ahead and just take that, because otherwise you're going to have a portion that's going to be ate up by attorney fees. Or, and this is kind of my wrap up to this, here's a tip. And I've honored this for multiple clients that have come to me before. If you were to come to me with this and say, hey, legal bestie, can you represent me? What I'd say is, look, you've already gotten yourself $30,000, right? Because this is the offer on the table. I will only charge you a percentage based on what I get you above that 30. Because it doesn't seem fair to me that I get to profit from work I haven't done, in effect, right? Because if I'm profiting from getting you some money, it should be the money I got you, not what you got yourself. So it says Delta's paying a comfort payment. They said it wouldn't affect any other relief of any sort. Thank you, Etha. So that clarifies. So that means you can get this, but you need, I would have an attorney look over their document. They said it wouldn't affect any other method of relief of any sort. Okay. You want to make sure, because the wording can always trip you up. You can be, you can be mentally traumatized and never want to fly again. My former employer did that, dug up mental health records when I was a teenager, and I'm 41 and I still want. Good. Yeah, you just have to be willing to go through that. Third-party denial of a claim from, yes, your personal health insurance can happen. Great. Okay, good. So let me clarify that. You can still sue. Thank you, Kenny. So I take that 30. But you want to be very clear that with that 30, you don't have to release no medical records. You don't have to give them any personal business. How do you calculate expenses in the future? Well, you would need to go to a doctor, and the doctor would say, this is how injured they are now. They're going to give, I have my clients get what's called an impairment rating, which says, hey, we've taken this client to what's called MMI, maximum medical improvement, based on all the treatment that they've obtained today, or to this day, but based on our evaluation of their body, we believe there's permanent impairment to different body parts, meaning, maybe their shoulders previously were operating at 100%, but maybe now it's only going to be 80. Then once you get that rating, then you literally, they put it in, there's a computer system, honestly. They put it in, just like how the doctor's office has billing and coding. They use those same type of symptom codes and stuff, put them in, and it spits out a value. And all lawyers don't do it that way, but that's how I do. Basically, what I do is I find out how does the insurance company value your case, and then I back it out from that. And they use medical billing codes, injury codes, diagnosis codes, literally put them in the computer system and spit out what they believe the value to your case should be. Yep, kind of like image domain. Okay, hit that like, share, and subscribe. So let me recap. So for those dealing with the Delta Airlines crash, given that you can get this money as a comfort payment plus more, get it all. But make sure when you see that lawyer, you listen closely to what you have to do to build up your case to get the amount that you want, that you feel your case is worth. And if you're physically injured, go to all your appointments. This is not the time to be like, well, I got to go back to work, because you either pay now or you pay forever. All right, next up. Okay, so for those of y'all who watch WAGS, and the show tickled me. It was interesting. Let me play you this little clip. This is a discussion between Sherelle, the owner of the real estate company, and Miranda. Now, Miranda is too cute. She is both a rapper. She's also one of Kodak Black's baby mamas. She has 2 kids by Kodak. And this is her talking about a little legal situation that she got herself into, Miranda. Now, my question for the chat is, after watching this, tell me, would you hire her to be your realtor? Let's just see.
Because she's supposed to be buying Kodak a new car, and her ass didn't show up.
Why is she buying him a new car?
Miranda caught some shit he was doing. She bust all the windows out the car.
I just wanted to take my anger out in my own yard. I regret it, but it's only so much that someone could take, I was shocked like him, like, did I do that? And that's the reason why I don't drink Hennessy anymore. I'm on some mature shit now, the blue and white bottle. None of that rowdy shit no more.
Let me tell you. Now, mind you, the backstory on this young lady is her mama came on the show. Her mother is very beautiful, and her mom was a pimp. I think she's retired now. I'm going to go ahead and say her mom's a retired pimp. Her mom is a retired Asian pimp. So it might have been those like massage parlors or something nasty like that. Who knows? I'm not sure. But yeah, so Miranda's on here. No, mind you, Miranda is the same baby mom. She got into a huge fight just weeks ago at the baby, at the second birthday of one of, I think it was her child with Kodak. She gets into a fight with one of the other moms, or I don't remember which mom. It's too many moms to keep straight. It's too many mamas to keep straight. But yes, so Miss Miranda, she done tore that car up bad. And then she be tearing people up. I just don't understand though, people going on national TV and announcing their crimes. That's never gonna bode well for you. Niecy said I couldn't get past the first episode. Listen, I got a breakdown. There's an episode where they discuss the prenup between Chad and Sherelle. And let me just, okay. Belisha says she needs to go to jail. She needs, I mean, she said, what in the heck, what in the Jasmine Sullivan is going on? Niecy said I couldn't get past the first episode. How come? It was interesting. I'll just say that. I'll say that. It was interesting. That's the best that I got. That's the best that I got for that. That it was interesting. What is going on here? Hold on. There we are. Now, Miss Jasmine. Now we're going to switch it over. Jasmine. Not Jasmine Sullivan, but this is Jasmine from 90 Day Fiance. Now, okay, if you don't watch 90 Day Fiance, stay tuned. Just stay tuned. I'm going to summarize this for you. Jasmine has been dating this guy named Gino. Okay, Gino looked like he should be on the S offender list, but he's not. He's not there at all. Bless his little heart. He actually is a really sweet guy. But what he did is he met her on this is a good picture. This is one of his best pictures, actually. He met her on 90 Day Fiance, but it was on a sugar baby site. This is what Gino looks like. Okay. See, you see what I'm saying? It kind of gives that kind of list. You see what I'm saying? It gives that list, but he's not. So he finds Jasmine on the sugar baby website, even though he's poor, he's regular, he worked at like a factory in Detroit, like something, not Detroit, but Michigan, and it's something really normal. They date, and she just gave him hell the whole time, and he allowed it. So he is not innocent here. But they were recently on 90 Day Fiance, The Last Resort, and it was revealed that during their marriage for like the last 8 months, they have not been sexually active. And she is super sexual. Let me go back to showing her. She is super sexual. Jasmine has a new booty. So when they were getting married, he gave her like $10,000 to spend towards like her wedding dress and planning the wedding. She used it towards a new bottom. She actually used $7,000 towards the bottom, and then the rest she got from an ex-boyfriend. She has a new face, new teeth, new titties. So anybody who pays that much for a Barbie body, of course they're going to be a sexual person. They're going to want it. But for 8 months, they weren't doing it because he said she was just too mean to him, and that she needed to consecutively be nice to him every day for at least a month for him to do it to her. Now that was odd. It made me think about when you go to my story time, you'll see why I can relate to that. But it made me think, oh, well, maybe he needs a prescription or something and just hadn't gotten it filled lately. I don't know. But either way, the new news here is that Jasmine on the show, which was 90 Day Fiance Last Resort, she tells Gino, I want to open marriage. And Gino says, hell no. Well, she opened that thing up so wide, she didn't put a baby in there. She is now pregnant to her. He was her personal trainer, her whatever. It says, according to Amber says, I'm not going to lie. I laugh way too hard at this. Jasmine promoted her fan page after her pregnancy announcement, which was originally a fan page for her and her husband, Gino. Gino is still her current husband. So I want to do a legal breakdown of what are the legal ramifications? What happens legally when you are married, you don't have permanent citizenship, and you get pregnant by your boyfriend? It says once Jasmine finally announced she was pregnant with boyfriend Matt, she decided to add Matt to her fan page instead of Gino. Basically took off her husband, added her baby daddy. Now, mind you, she has 2 other kids in Panama that she cannot go see, and they can't see her because the paperwork isn't. If she leaves, especially now in Trump's America, she won't be allowed back in, and her kids aren't allowed to come because they don't have the paperwork to do so. So she done made a whole new family and left them other kids over there in Panama. It says she originally changed her profile picture to a picture of her, Matt, and her dog, Coco. But she later added a picture of Gino to the family photo, too. I'm assuming maybe the producers didn't want to 100% spoil things and still want people to believe that she and Gino went the open marriage route, even though it is painfully obvious that is not the case. Y'all look at this picture. Here go the family picture. She didn't, her boyfriend, the dog, and then this is her man, her husband. Her husband. That's low down dirty. That's low down dirty. That's right. So first of all, and Gino has no kids and he really wanted them. He was literally begging her for a child when they were engaged. And right before he had proposed, he was getting cold feet because she was like, I can't promise you I'm going to give you a child. I'm scared. I don't want to do that. I've already had my other child. I don't want to mess up my body. She finally had her dream body. And he's like, but that's a deal breaker. I told you, like, if you're not willing to give me a child, because he has no kids and he's, I don't know, it looks like he's about 50. I don't know how old he is. And here she goes, doing it with this other man and let him blow up her whole club. Well, guess what? Hey, Gino. Hey, it's your legal bestie, Attorney Simone. If you want that baby, honey, it's yours. Legally, they live in Michigan and under the state of Michigan. A child is presumed to be the husband's. Presumed. Now, in other states like Texas, in states like Texas, let me put that. Kenny said it. Here we go. Who wrote it? Yep, that's right. In states like Texas, you cannot get divorced while pregnant. They make you wait until your marriage is over. Now you can file, and Georgia, you can file for the divorce, but you cannot get the divorce finalized until the baby is here. Why? Because that way, if the husband wants to do a paternity test or any of that, those things can be done. That law was created back before people were able to get paternity tests while pregnant. Oh, Gino, call me. If you want to get a paternity test, my homegirl literally has a clinic where they can do the test. It is simply a blood test in Jasmine's arm. It doesn't hurt. It's a little nick. Do a blood test and we'll find out who that baby is right now. Jasmine, if you want that, or if you don't, or Gino, if you don't want to take it, this can be your miracle baby. This could be your baby. Now you're going to have to pay child support and everything, but you can decide, Gino can actually decide he doesn't want a paternity test and that he wants to move forward with getting a divorce and then them arranging custody and visitation for the child. That might be good for Jasmine because Jasmine, baby, let me tell you something. You're not getting nothing in this divorce. Nothing. They're allowed to consider your conduct as the cause. Now, she's probably still, oh, wait a minute. Oh, no. I was going to say she'd probably still be entitled to citizenship because they've been married. But with Trump doing whatever he wants, Gino could get her deported. Oh, Jasmine. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, girl. You about to be out of here. Oh, wait. I got a story. Yes. Hold on. That was just on one of these pages that I just had where they had stories of part of the issue was that, there we go. Part of the issues that people were facing were that they have been deporting people with even, what do they call it? Green cards. They have been deporting even green card people. So they surely will get your behind, Jasmine. You picked the wrong time to get knocked up, sister. Yes, she can get deported. See, okay, so here's how it works. And let me explain this. And this is why some people are like, I don't understand why my relative or whatever got deported. So generally what would happen pre-Trump is that you apply for whatever your paperwork is, and then you have an interim status while you're waiting for finalization. So first of all, never before have green card holders been deported. Your green card actually allows you to go to other countries, all of that. Simon Giobatu, Portia's husband, soon to be ex, that's what he has, a green card. So that was as you guys could see, he would go to Dubai and come back and all of that. But now what they're doing is, so for example, I had a client who came over here from Canada. They applied for a entertainment visa because they were a musician. They were a music superstar. They had a record contract. Literally, in order to get the music visa, they had to go to the immigration office and literally sing for the officer to show their talent. And then it was getting processed. Prior to them getting their final visa that said they could stay here for entertainment, they got deported. They got deported. Which I'm trying to remember which presidency this was ordered. Now, I'm sorry, they got detained. They got arrested by ICE, and we had to go through all the paperwork. Now, because they looked white and it was Canada, after a few weeks they were able to get released. But what's happening is because it was the interim stage where they applied for the specific visa, so they were technically a visa overstay, but you're allowed to be a visa overstay where you're simply waiting for an approval or denial. She had not been denied. And ultimately, as a result of this, she got her paperwork sooner. But what they're doing is they are deporting people who are considered visa overstays who are waiting for their final paperwork. Never before has that been an issue. So yes, Jasmine may be considered a form of an overstay, but she definitely does not have any permanent status. But here's the thing. They're only doing that for brown countries. If you overstay for London, if you overstay for Iceland, if you overstay for Sweden, no problem. No problem. The baby's not born yet. She could get deported. Yes. And even when the baby is born, having a baby only gives the baby citizenship. And that's what she wants for this kid. Because then the kid can be here. And now she only has to worry about getting her other 2 kids over here. They call them anchor babies. When people think that by having a baby in America, it's going to allow you to stay. No. Gino, this is your time. You better go get an attorney. And here's the thing. You cannot, to the Genos or somebody in this situation, you cannot just get any family lawyer. You need to get a family lawyer who also specializes in immigration because it's a whole different ball game. Jasmine's baby daddy seems like a good dad to her boys. Seems like she cares more about the TV fame. Yeah. And it might be that the TV fame is going to allows her to pay her bills in an easier way. She was a teacher back in Panama. And so this was easier, but yet, send him my link. Oh yeah, my link is in the bio. Oh, it's SimoneRedwine.com, Simone with a Y, call me. I know some castmates on this show. I'm gonna have one of the castmates reach out to him. But yes, Gino, I will consult with you confidentially. No one has to know. Because this is ridiculous. Gino, if you want that baby, it's okay. You better take that baby. Matt can go make another one. He's a youngster. Go get that baby. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I don't know what y'all think, but I do think it is weird. Ooh, hold on. This is important. Kenny says the CPD were getting people to sign away permanent residency when they were coming back into the United States. I believe it because they were also having people. They were giving the option like you can stay indefinitely in federal prison. See, here's the thing. A lot of times they'll call it a detention center. Honey, I've been there. It's prison. They have gang members. All of that. Like my client that I told you got stuck in there like that. She was crying every day because there were gang members that were trying to whoop her tail. There were Mexican female gang members. They are locked up. It's not separate. They don't be like, oh, this is just a Canadian overstay. She goes over here and the criminals are over here. No, it's a jail. So don't put detention center in your mind and think, oh, it's like a holding center for foster care. No, baby. They have assault and all kind of things going on in there in the same way that you have jail. It says the CBD were getting people to sign away permanent residency when they're coming back. As a strong watcher of 90 Day, Neural says she actually wanted to go back to Panama at one point, but Gino refused. Is she really scared to get deported? Good question. He used that against her several times. I would guess right now, though, she probably just wants to have her baby healthy here to give the baby the most opportunities. And I wouldn't be surprised with that. But Gino, you can use this. If you want to be a dad, you can use this to be a dad. There's nothing that can be done. Now, Matt can fight. He'll have to get an attorney and he'll have to fight. But a court can decide, hey, y'all were married. Y'all dated for many years. You want this baby and you don't even care about a DNA. See, a court cannot force Gino to get a DNA test. He's the husband. He can just sign paperwork. You know that? The court cannot force a husband to get a DNA test. it is an option because most men want the option. But a lot of husbands, they don't even bother because either they're like, hey, I'm going to treat this kid like I treat my others if they already have kids with this person. But in this case, Gino could say, I don't want a paternity test. I just want to take care of the kid. Now, Matt would then have to literally hire a lawyer, intervene in the divorce, and say, no, it's my baby. And I want to, take on the rights of the child and everything. The problem is he going to be stuck with Jasmine. Anybody, you got to be a special type of cuckoo to say, yep, I want to commit to this for the next 18 years. Because that is a special type of cuckoo. All right, guys, this is I got a therapy appointment coming up soon. So this is what all I got for today. Thank you guys for joining me. And don't forget, come back later this evening for the story time. I'm going to make sure that that's set for everyone to watch. Thanks again. Hit that like and hit that subscribe button on your way out. Take care.